All right. So yeah, we're live on my end. I'm
All right,
put
we're
this
live.
on.
It's
So
on.
yeah,
All right. Well, welcome Tyrell to the Beyond Your Horizon podcast. How you doing this morning?
I am here. The time shift then threw me all the way off today. So yeah, but I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
So you really feel like you missed that 1 hour, right?
That 1 hour just screwed me all the way up. When I tell you I could not break myself away from the bed, like
Hmm.
it definitely was like, oh, we're not going nowhere. No, we're not doing that. Mm-mm. We're not even letting you do that. So
Yeah.
my body right now is just like, we're here, but we ain't here.
Wow.
'Cause,
You work
so I
late.
got no. Actually, I got off work at about 11, so I got home about
Okay.
12. But my inner fat boy showed up last night at about midnight, and I started eating junk food and watching movies. So when I did finally get to sleep, I was like, okay, well, I guess I can go to sleep now. And then when I got your message, I'm like, oh shit, we did lose it an hour.
Yes,
So,
we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
oh,
Well, as much as you work out, because you posted on Instagram whenever you're killing it, you
trying.
know, I've been thinking about sending you an invite so that I could, like have you as motivation on my watch. But
Yeah,
nah, because I don't need that kind of negativity in my day when you're
yeah,
getting like 1,000 calories just on a bike ride.
but I think a lot of that, like when I used to do boot camps, I had committed with my boot camps that we would do, I call them 1,000 calorie days.
Okay.
So, at one point in my life, I was so focused on uh, killing myself in the gym, basically. And to be
Okay.
completely honest, that probably was one of my highest points of depression because I was
Mm,
killing myself so much trying to, seek approval. I was like, oh, I need to have my body together. I'm a personal trainer, and I'm still a big believer that personal trainers need to look like a personal trainer.
I agree.
Um, but then it's crazy because you have people who can look like a personal trainer and their endurance sucks, and that's
Hmm.
what I'm always telling people. I'm like, just because you look like a personal trainer does not mean that you are actually a personal trainer, because and that
Yeah.
I posted something a while ago about people and allowing their trainer to know their struggle.
Right.
Because my struggle comes from the spectrum of being overweight and obese and things like that, and so I know what it feels like to fight the fat battle, and
Hmm.
mentally, physically, emotionally. So of course I
Right.
connect well with people who are trying to lose weight and
Hmm.
keep it off, because hell, I'm still going through that now.
Right.
But you have some trainers who come from the other side of the spectrum where they were extremely skinny and now they lifted a bunch of weights and now they got all these muscles and they're like, oh my God, his body is amazing. So they get people in the gym and they try to kill him. And I'm like, that's because you got a
Hmm.
skinny personal trainer. If
Right.
he stops, lifting weights, his 40 pounds coming off like that, he does not understand your struggle. Although there are some trainers out there that do understand that struggle, because I met a guy who he passed away, but he was amazing when it came to personal training. He was like the Beyonce of personal trainers because
Mhm.
he killed it. Like he challenged you mentally, and that's partially because he was halfway crazy anyway,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
and
But,
physically.
but he never had a weight problem. He was
He was
just,
always
yeah.
skinny. He came from the other
Okay.
spectrum, so he was always lifting weights and always, eating more than I would recommend my clients to eat, because you got to eat 3,000 calories. I'm like, in whose world?
Right.
Because if I eat 3,000 calories, my ass gonna weigh 3,000 pounds. 3,000 calories. So, but yeah, he was amazing. He was amazing.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's get into that. Because I know you had a great weight loss story, a
Oh
time in
Lord.
your life. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
take me to that moment when
Uh,
you realized that you didn't want to be overweight anymore, obese, or actually, or what even got you to that place into to begin with, and then what got you to that place where you wanted to change it?
Well, oh gosh, what brought me there? What was my wake up call? Well, I've been featured in People magazine 3 times in their half their size issue, which is the plaque that's behind my head. That picture is from 2006, I think. Yeah, 2006, January 2006. That was the first time I was in People magazine. But prior to that, I was a heavy kid, and there was points in my time in my life where, I had first started learning how to drive, and I was taking myself to the doctor. So I was like 16 or 17. My mom wasn't going anymore. So I went to the doctor and he took my blood pressure. And my blood pressure was on the verge. He said I was on the verge of having a heart attack at that moment. So he wouldn't let me leave. So he said, your blood pressure is too high. At one point, I was over 300 pounds. And I had to sit there for like an hour. And so, of course, as a 16 or 17-year-old, to be told that you have to sit at the doctor's office until your blood pressure goes down and it actually, normalizes, it was scary. So, fast forward to me moving here to Atlanta when I was 22. Of course, I was like, I want to be in the in crowd. I want to be the it boy. I want to be the one that everybody chases. So I got to get this back together. So, and I look back, and as I explored and figured out who Tyrell was, I realized that I was in a really deep depression at that time because I was trying to seek the approval of everybody external when I was beating myself up internally. I was really, really, really restricting myself. I was barely eating 1,000 calories a day, but I was burning more than 1,000 calories a day. So I was kind of, calorie deficit. My body was amazing. I mean, I had a pack and everything else, but it mentally was not there, and then you realize that all the work that you do and all of that, restricting yourself from eating and stuff like that, it does nothing because people gonna either like you or they're not gonna like you, no matter what size you are. So so I started doing that, and of course I was featured in the magazine a couple other times, and there's definitely other stories behind the pictures because even this picture, like while I'm taking this picture right here, my mom, my sister, my aunt sitting on the sideline while this lady is spraying water in my face to make it look like I was sweating. And she's telling me how attractive I was. And I'm like, if you spray me in my eye and this contact come out, this photo shoot is over. So,
hey, anything for the shot.
Right. This is all going on behind the scenes. So all of my pictures in that magazine have something to go behind it because I was going through certain points in my life, mentally, emotionally, physically. I mean, I guess that part of depression allowed me to appreciate health and wellness.
Right. I think you made a good thing. People often forget that we are like a threefold entity, mind, body, and spirit. And sometimes we can lead very heavily into one area and neglect the other. So here you're talking about you had the 6-pack, you had the body, but then you were still in depression. And I don't think a lot of people can get that because we see people on like IG with these slamming bodies, living their best life. And then to find out that you're depressed for what? Like with a body like that.
Exactly. And I think that's because we have placed so much importance on stuff. Stuff, the things that can change or the things that are tangible by anybody else, that we forget what the meat and potatoes of ourself is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine, and I told him when I was talking, I said, it really pisses me off that COVID came through and leveled the playing field. Nobody was unable to catch COVID. Nobody was excused from dying from COVID. Hell, I had COVID and I'm just working. I'm a nobody. I caught COVID, and just to see people die because I caught COVID in the beginning while they were still learning. So all they knew for me is, oh, you got those symptoms. Yes, the pain is there. When I tell you I have a high tolerance for pain, but that pain from COVID, I never want to experience again. And I'm saying that because COVID came through and leveled the playing field and made everybody on the same level. You are able to get it. You are able to die from it. You are able to, suffer from the symptoms. And here we are. Everything is opening back up. And I'm hearing him have a conversation about people judging each other again based on, oh, what do you do? And what kind of degree do you have? And how much money do you make? And who is your circle of friends? And it annoys the hell out of me that people are that shallow still, knowing that that if their life wasn't that close to ending, they are maybe 1 or 2 degrees separated from somebody who they know directly who was affected and maybe even passed away from something as crazy as COVID. And here you are still again, not appreciating the life that you have.
Right. Let me ask you this, because I think you're the first person I have talked to that actually had COVID. How was that like when you're dealing with all of these symptoms and sickness from it, and then seeing this number of deaths increasing? Like, was there ever a moment where you were like,
I'm a die?
Yeah. Did you ever think that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought it a couple times because I live alone. So, of course, when you have COVID, they say you're supposed to seclude yourself and stuff like that. So, of course, I'm in here by myself. And of course, my mom and my sister, my dad, everybody's checking on me every day. They're calling me. Right. But there were points in my day because the pain was so bad that I was scared to go to sleep too long or too heavy because I was like, I'm not going to wake up. I really feel like I'm not going to wake up. So, I even made a joke and started thinking more positively. And I told my mom, I said, well, if I do die, I'm gonna die like this because I need to die pretty.
And cross your legs like Aretha Franklin, right? Cross your legs.
I said, when they find me, at least my body look good. Cremate me quick. I need a rich folks funeral, so don't let nobody cry for me. I don't want that whole week. I don't need cousin Pookie and then flying in. Just go and cremate me and get me out of here. So, but yeah, there was a point where it shut me all the way down. And like you mentioned before, me burning 1,000 calories on the bike or treadmill like that, like I could barely stand for 30 seconds at some point in that. Like I would be standing there and my legs would just start shaking and they would just give out, like literally give out. Like even when taking a shower was a task, I would have to sit on the side of the tub just to wash my body. I would take a bite of an apple and be done. Just one bite and be done. Night sweats. I get up and have to change my sheets and everything. Hell, I even had to buy a mattress cover because I'm like, I'm sweating like crazy. And see, I'm already hot natured, so it doesn't take much for me to sweat. Right. And when you got something like that in your system that's trying to fight, yeah, it was scary. And I'm here by myself. Like I literally could not get comfortable anywhere. So I was laying on the floor. I laid on the couch. I laid in the bed. I even laid in an empty tub because my body just needed to feel cool.
But you had a praying grandmama, huh? You had somebody praying for you and pulling you through.
My grandparents have passed away, or both my grandmothers have passed away, and I'm sure they was watching over me. They was like, "Nah,
I'm sure they would.
It's not his time. He got too much going on. Let's Heal has not been seen across the world.
Right.
That enough with Let's Heal, so we gonna keep him there just a little longer.
Right.
I tell everybody I never know when I'm gonna go, so I appreciate every day. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want anybody to ever feel sorry or bad or yes, it will be hard, but if you really, 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 truly understand and I love you and you love me the way that that you say that you do, you'll appreciate me. You'll interact with me while I'm here. Yes. So when I do go, you'll be able to sleep peacefully because we enjoyed and shared and created some of the best memories that it's almost like you had to be there. And you would even say, like, me and my best friends, we have stories, and I'm always asking people, what is one memory you have of me? You know what I'm saying? I live in my legacy right now. And that's what I tell people. I don't want my legacy to die when I die. I should have been able to leave a legacy that will continue to blaze trails after I'm gone, because we all got to die someday. We don't know when. We don't know how. We don't know why.
Yeah.
We all got to go someday. So if my day is today, trust and believe, everybody knows Let's Heal.
Right, right. And my thoughts and opinions on like the afterlife have always been, what is your legacy?
Yeah.
That is the afterlife. That is heaven for me. Is like, what is your legacy? What are you leaving behind? And so we praise God that you have healed
Yeah.
from COVID. And
Yeah.
I think this is a nice segue to get right into Let's Heal, and your whole movement that you are doing. So I want to, I guess, hear your origin story, because I know you have a few certifications in the life coaching area. Give us your origin story of what got you into this Let's Heal and life coaching. Yeah, let's hear it. How did that become your purpose?
So like we were talking about before, like my whole life has been so connected. And I
Okay.
didn't know it until I stood back and understood what was going on. So I was a personal trainer and an aerobic instructor for 11 years. I still keep those certifications up because part of me wants to go back to teaching. I never want a personal training.
You'd be great. You would be great as a teacher and personal trainer.
I was a teacher for 11 years. I loved it. Like that energy was insane. And so, but I never want a personal training again. You know, personal training, it not only is it physically draining, but it's mentally draining. And that's where Let's Heal was created, you know, because I've always been, you know, growing up, people always, oh, you going to be a preacher? Or are you going to be this? And I'm like, no, I don't want to be a preacher because I like the class and I don't like to go to church. So, you know, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I could be a motivational speaker. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be a motivational speaker, because you think motivational speaker and it's like you have to motivate people. I want to be a positive, creative speaker. You know what I'm saying? Because I want people to be able to understand that life has ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? When I went through and I stopped teaching classes, I stopped personal training, I was at another low point. Like I got my certification through for years. You know, I was a life coach. I was certified life coach before life coaching was popular. And that's because I had a mentor who lived out in LA, and, you know, everything goes to LA first. So they get everything.
Yeah, California is always
right. I had a mentor in LA, and he was like, you need to get your life coach certification. And I'm like, I don't want to be nobody's counselor. I just want to work out with these people and lead them on their way. He was like, no, I'm serious. He said, because it all ties together. And, you know, early in my career, I didn't put two and two together, even though it does, you know, mental and physical, it goes together, you know, because I'm an emotional eater. So there's a lot of emotional eaters in the world. So we got to figure out where these emotions are coming from or why you're having them. And me being a life coach just upped my game as a personal trainer, because it helped me understand the people even more. You know what I'm saying? Like when I have a personal trainer that understands your struggle, like I've had a client come to me and, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes into the workout, she just bust out in tears. And if I was just a personal trainer, I'm thinking, okay, your session's over. You know, okay, hey, I just came to personal train you. But when you become a life coach, hey, what's going on? Tell me what you're thinking at this moment, because something is attached to these hormones that you are spiking when you get here. Something's going on. So talk to me about it. To that emotion. So yeah, I just kept doing, you know, I kept my certifications up, kept my life coach, and then they started getting specific, because, you know, you have life coach for money, you have life coach for life, you have life coach for relationship. I'm an emotional intelligence life coach.
I saw that. Yes.
So I want to help people understand and apply their emotions, because 100% of decisions in life are based on emotions.
Okay.
You're not going to buy a car without feeling some kind of way. You're not going to get into a relationship without feeling some kind of way. You're not going to start a new job without feeling some kind of way. So if you understand your emotions, you're able to make more positive than negative choices when it comes to, you know, decisions.
Yeah. So when you say understanding your emotions, so we all feel a certain way about things. So you're saying that what you do as a coach is helping us to understand why and what we're feeling and how to apply that.
Like I said, every emotion is tied to a decision. And I'll use love, because love is the easiest emotion to talk about, yet it's the hardest to be most vulnerable about. You know, a lot of people have been hurt by love.
Yes.
You know, whether that love is, because when the stock market crashed, all those people who had committed suicide, their love was for their job. So you take something that's supposed to be secure and that's supposed to provide and it's supposed to be there, something that you pour all of your all into, that you love, and now it's gone. So you have no point to live. So you start committing suicide. And it's like so this person had a wife and kids and money in the bank, but this job meant more to them. They loved this job. People who have been in tumultuous relationships usually have the hardest time being vulnerable in the next situation because they gave their all. They were vulnerable to love. They allowed themselves to be transparent with the other person, and that person came in and basically misused their love. So now their job is to protect their love, because you're the only person who can protect your emotions. So protect my love, protect my love. You can't come into my life unless it looks like this, unless it does that. And here's the thing about love. Love is going to hurt you. Love is going to disappoint you. Love is going to let you down. And until you are ready to endure that emotion fully, because people think love, 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 and they think happy, happy, happy. And I'm like, love got some bad sides to it too.
Yeah.
And then those bad sides is where your lessons come from. Because if you went through life and nothing but positive happened to you, how do you learn how to not touch a stove as a child? Your curiosity was a positive thing, but a negative result came from that. So I'm sure as an adult, you're not going to go and put your hand on a hot stove, because guess what? You learned to not touch that stove.
I've really gotten to a place of no longer really getting into the whole bipolarity of things. We look at the bad and the good and everything, because what is bad one day will actually turn out to be good tomorrow once you look back on it, or once you learn from it and are able to grow. So as a coach who specializes in emotional intelligence, if someone is dealing with a broken heart and unable to love again, what do you do for that person as their coach?
Well, you have to go back because I had a client of mine who didn't know how to love his wife. Because he felt like his love was being the man of the house. So he made all the decisions and he talked to her a certain kind of way. And I'm like, but his wife, she also was strong-willed. And I told him, I said, you're not loving her in her love language or her emotions. You're loving her in your love language and your emotions. And a relationship is not based on that. So I need you to go back and think about, when was the last time that you felt safe in love?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out when you felt safe in love, and like what was around you, what were your emotions, who was involved, things like that. Because I always explain people, therapists go past to present, life coach goes present to future. So my whole goal is to make sure that his marriage survives. And I'm like, you might need to go see a counselor, because there's some issues from your past, because he had attached his love to the way that his father treated his mother. But then there was also some bad relationship between him, his father, his mother, and the way that they felt about his wife. I said, so now you need to go to a counselor, because the counselor is going to tell you that there are some things that you need to confront with your parents about your life right now. And I have a podcast called Is This Baggage Even Yours? A lot of times as adults, we carry baggage that's not even ours, like our insecurities and the way that we feel about love and relationships and the way that we carry our house. And oh, my mama used to do that. Oh, my daddy used to do that.
Wow. I know, I get it, because I just, it's the understanding of why we do what we do. And a lot of times it's not just because, it is linked to something that we have been through, or maybe how we have decided to heal from something. And sometimes the way we heal from it, and it's actually a trauma response. The older I get, I see a lot of similarities in myself with my mother, with my father. And like, I see myself like, doing the same things that they did in their relationships too, and how they view life. But it's important to kind of understand where those emotions come from, so you can really like analyze them, you know, and really get to the root of it.
Exactly.
Okay. And so from this place, I guess, of seeing these people who were dealing with these past emotions and damage and trauma, whatever. So this is where your Let's Heal birthed from, seeing this need? And
it came from myself first, because I always felt like I had some things that was going on that I needed to deal with. And now heal, I'm like, okay, so I need to heal, you know. So heal had to be in the word, it had to be there. And then I was like, I didn't want it to be selfish, because there was one certification that I got when I was going through my emotional intelligence certification, and the instructor told us, and it was probably the hardest letter I've ever written in my life. Number one, I don't really care for writing. I can talk all day long, but when I do sit down and write, I need to seclude myself because I need my meat and potatoes in my letters. But she told us, she said, write a letter apologizing to somebody or something, but don't mention I or me.
Okay.
In the whole letter.
Okay.
And she said, because as soon as you mention I or me, that apology is no longer for the other person. It's to make you feel good.
Okay.
If you really apologizing to somebody for something that you did, learn how to take responsibility for your own shit without making it about you.
Okay.
And it was hard. And you know how hard it is until you sit down, because you want to say, well, I apologize. I is right there.
So how do you rephrase it without the I?
You have to understand their emotion. You know what I'm saying? When we were sitting down, you expressed to me that you blah.
Okay.
And we have an understanding, because you have to, and we is inclusive. So heal was already in the word, and I wanted to make sure that it was inclusive. It wasn't going to be I heal, it wasn't going to be you heal, because we need to heal.
Nice.
We, you know what I'm saying? And then we is inclusive. Let's is an inclusive word. So let's heal.
Let us, right.
Both of us heal. Let all of us heal. Let's heal.
Yeah.
And because even when I get to a certain point in my healing, I should be able to still reach back and tell people with empathy. Like, I'm not a very sympathetic person, so I always tell people sympathy is not my big emotion. I'm all about empathy, because I'm able to understand. And if I don't understand, I need to be able to ask questions. And a lot of times when people are going through healing, they don't want you to ask them any questions. Like, I just want to go there. Okay, well, you let me know, because when you want to talk, I'm here to listen. I'm here to be empathetic, but please save my invitation to your pity party. And just fill you up with sympathy, because you're not going to learn from that.
Yeah. Define for us the difference between sympathy and empathy.
So sympathy is feeling sorry for something or somebody. You know, sympathy is like, I feel sorry for, you know, and even and I hate to use it, but it's reality. You know, whenever somebody passes away, you go straight to the sympathy section.
Sorry for your loss.
Like, okay, I'm sorry. And it's like, you being sorry is not going to make them feel better. And you being sorry, or you showing that kind of sympathy, is not going to always resonate properly with people. You know, you have to send positive vibes and understanding. Empathy is understanding. I've lost somebody before. I understand what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Sympathy is, oh, I feel sorry for you. And people feel like when they say that, oh, I feel sorry for your loss, and then they go back on about their day. If you really truly empathize about somebody or something, you check on them. Hey, how you doing today? You know what I'm saying? Don't make it about the situation. Understand where they're coming from. Understand where their emotions are. And understand that when you went through that, you just needed somebody to check on you every now and again.
Right.
You know, that's the difference from sympathy and empathy. To break it all down, really, really simple. Sympathy is feeling sorry for somebody. Empathy is understanding their emotion.
Good. You know, I just reminded me of when I was at this aquarium in, I think it was in Virginia, Hampton Beach, and we were watching this video and about the sea and everything. But at the end of that video, it said, in order to protect, you must first understand.
Yes.
And that has been like, I don't remember what that thing was about, what fish it was about, but when they said that, I was like, God, that's a word right there. In order to protect, you must first understand. And that is like what empathy is. It's like, and if you don't understand, you have to ask questions. You have to, it's okay to sit with them and say, like, tell me what you're feeling. Tell me how this is making you feel, so I know how I can empathize and meet that need for you. So
when you send somebody sympathy, you're basically telling them, okay. And another thing that I hate when I hear, you'll get through it, or you still going through it. There's no time limit on how long my emotions are going to last. I lost a little brother 12 years. It'll be 12 years ago. Well, it is 12 years ago. He was 20 years old. Hadn't even began to live his life, and he was shot and killed in Chicago. That is the kind of pain that you will never get over. That was my mother's youngest child, so I'm constantly, thinking about that and being aware of that, because I understand. I'm not going to tell her, oh, that was 12, 15, 20, 30 years ago. There's empathy there. So I understand that when you truly love something or somebody that emotion is tied to, you will never truly fully get over it, because then you're gonna always think about him. The ease, it gets easier as the years go by, and you're able to start appreciating, the memories that you have with that person. You're never going to appreciate their death. Nobody ever appreciates anybody's death because they're not here anymore, but you appreciate the time that you had with them.
Right. So in this arena that you're in of healing, what have you learned about healing?
Oh, that is constant. Healing is constant. And when I first started really posting let's heal stuff, and I'm like, let's heal. Excuse me, I would get negative comments. And they're like, you just, and it will always come from people who are hurt. People will tell you when they're hurting without telling you that they're hurting. I will post my podcast and, different quotes and stuff like that. And I would say, let's heal at the end. And I would always get people, you just think everybody is hurt. Everybody's not hurt. And I'm like, it's not even about you. But like my grandma used to say, a hit dog will holler. So since you hollering at me, come on, talk to me.
Yeah, that's a trigger.
Because, I'm not saying that everybody is hurt. What I am saying is everybody is, or will heal from something. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to go through life and never get another scar or another scab or another cut. You will always have something to heal from, and a lot of times when I first started Let's Heal, I associated Let's Heal with teething with a baby. Like when babies are teething, there's pain there. They cry, they're inconsolable, there's bleeding, there's swelling, it's agony for them. But once those teeth come in, that pain, that healing, that growth is necessary for survival. So it may hurt while you're going through it, but once you get through it, it's necessary for your survival. So you have to be able to adapt through the pain and learn how to deal with it. Learn, even when I had a tooth pulled not too long ago, when I tell you that was painful, but it was necessary for me to go through that process in order for me to survive. I could avoid it and just continue to be stuck in that pain, but for how long? Eventually I had to go get it taken care of.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of how emotions and healing is. You can suffer through the pain if you want to, but all you're going to do is be snapping at everybody and be pissed off at everybody because you're in pain. So at what point you going to take care of that pain?
Wow. And, I got to be a part of a campaign you did where you asked people what did healing mean to them. And it was just interesting to see like all the different opinions and the different thoughts on what healing is for each person. So like, was there anyone's response during that time that was like a aha or like I don't know, or were you just receptive to any definition of what healing was for you? And that's on YouTube if anybody wants to see.
Yeah, I'll put a link, everybody.
Yeah.
But I was receptive to everybody because I wanted people to see that healing means something different to everybody. Because like I said, is inclusive. So when you think of heal, you automatically think broken emotions. You don't necessarily have to be, you have broken emotions in order to be open to healing. You know, let's heal. If you're, here's the thing about emotions. There's always ups and downs. There's positives and negatives. There's ups and downs. There's hills and valleys. You know, you're always going to have that up point and you're always going to have that down point. So if you're at a positive point in your healing, you are able to hear other people's definition of healing because you may connect with somebody's definition of healing when you go through a valley or a low point. And it's like, somebody talked about that. And this is what this is how they got it. I've never experienced that because we learn from each other. You know what I'm saying? People are learning from each other and you have to constantly be ready to learn because when you learn, you grow. When you stop growing, you might go and die. So it was open to everybody. And I'm actually about to do another round. And I think
nice.
Defining that is probably just like love. It's hard for people to verbalize healing because they automatically think, well, in order for me to verbalize healing, I have to be going through something. That's not true. That's not true. Because we all have our own definition of what healing is. And if we're not currently going through healing, we have gone through healing. So it's okay to be able to say,
going through.
Exactly. Healing to me is, you know what I'm saying? Be able to give that information back. And, you know, I always tell people we're taught lessons to teach lessons. So if you're constantly being taught, and you're holding it all in, you're not living your life fully. You're not living in your legacy, and you're not allowing people to learn from you. We're all put here to learn from each other. No matter who you are, no matter how much money you got, we're all here put to learn from each other. So we're taught lessons to teach lessons.
To teach lessons. I said that on Threesome Podcast. When you learn, you teach, and when you teach, you learn.
Yeah.
And that is so true. You know, we should be getting the information and we should be giving it to someone else because really what I've learned is that when we learn something and we teach it to somebody, it actually gets into us even deeper. So right. So when you're hearing these positive affirmations and things, if you just share them with other people, it'll be easier for you to actually practice it in your life. Once you've done that. So so it's like a whole reaping and sowing type thing. You've got to keep pouring it out and receiving it.
Exactly.
Wow.
You have to. I mean, and I don't want people, because my mom, she reached out to me one day because I am extremely, I guess, open about my feelings and emotions.
Oh, okay. Good.
You know, I don't mind cussing somebody out.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it. You can get it.
And she's like, you can't be doing all of that. And you're talking about healing and positivity. I'm like, here's the thing about healing. Healing is realistic.
Come on.
Realistic. I said, it's all about positive and negatives. I said, so if somebody catch me on a day and they need my alter ego, Vincent, the crazy one that just don't give a damn to show up, guess what? He's going to show up.
Yeah.
If I can tell somebody to shut the F-U-C-K up, I don't want to use too many harsh words today. I always tell people, I love curse words. So there's never not going to be a day where Tyrell ain't calling somebody a bitch or doing something crazy like that. Curse words feel good rolling off my tongue. Rolling off my tongue.
I got a feel in your mouth, huh?
It tastes good in my taste buds. So I'm never going to not curse.
Well, I definitely admire the authenticity. And I think we're living in a world now where we're letting go of all of these fake personalities or who we think we should be. You know, hey, did you hear about the recent Kirk Franklin stuff?
I've been looking at the buzz, but I didn't see the video yet because somehow he cursed out his got 30 or 33 or something.
His son.
Like that.
His son, cussed him out.
I'm gonna have to go see, but that's reality.
But it's reality. People are like, "Oh my God, it's Kirk Franklin!" But people are really shocked, like a Kirk Franklin, a gospel singer, is doing that. And I think Lexi,
people are able to see people like celebrities as people.
As human, yes, they're human.
And I like to use Whitney Houston because Whitney, you know, she was The Voice, she was America's Sweetheart, she was all of these things. So then when she passed away, and all of her truths fell out, You have people who were willing to go for blood if you said anything. But this is her truth, y'all.
Yeah.
Her truth is finally come out. Just because you made up in your head who somebody is, how they should act, how they should respond, does not mean that that's who they are. And I find that, you know, when it comes to me dating, people come into my life to experience me. They don't come into my life to learn about me. And what I mean by that is they have based who they want to interact with on who they saw on social media. So they come into my life and they think, you know, Tyrell, he's really quiet. He has an amazing smile. He's always working out. He's positive, 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 until you catch me and you piss me off.
Yeah. And
then it's like, ooh. And even that, like I was married, and my mother-in-law, she was, you know, going around town telling people, Tyrell's not who you think he is. And I'm like, well, who the hell did y'all think I was? And, you know, the more I dug into the situation, they thought that I was this pushover with an amazing smile and a quiet voice. And then they realized, yeah, Tyrell got a voice and a backbone and a bat and a knife.
Okay.
And a gun if he need to. So, yeah, y'all weren't expecting that person. Y'all came into Tyrell's life to experience him based on the pictures that you saw, based on the let's heal. Y'all didn't come into my life to learn about me. Y'all didn't come in and say, he has emotions. He has up days. He has down days. He has happy days. He has sad days. He has days, you know, he can get pissed off. He can get angry. Y'all didn't come into my life to learn about me. Y'all came into my life to experience what you saw and who you thought he was. People think certain things about certain people. And that's because, you know, that's what we put on our social media. That's why I try to be really transparent, because I don't ever want to meet somebody and be fake.
Right.
And even with me being as transparent as you say that you see on my social media, there's still people who in their mind have made up in their mind, oh, Tyrell's this wholesome, you know, Mary Poppins guy who never, and I'm like, okay, try.
And that's their business.
Right.
that is not my business.
Right. Right. Just because it's gonna come, and it's gonna come fast, it's gonna come real rude, and it might be a little disrespectful. But it's coming.
Right. You know, and that is liberating to know that we do not have to live up to others' expectations of ourselves, of who they think that we are. We don't really have to live up to that. You know, it took me till like in my 30s to get that, to realize, like, you know, I really don't have to live up to anybody's expectations. You know, if I disappoint you, then that's with you, because you were the one that set the expectation of me. I didn't set it. You set it. Right. And you did not give room for my own humanity. Exactly. And so as I am stepping into the fullest expression of myself, you know, I invite whoever wants to see me to come. If you don't, leave it. You know, leave it there. Right.
Because but there's a lot of people who tailor their lives around other people, you know. Yes. And to be completely honest, that's how celebrities and famous people are made. They're made through fans.
Yes,
so
that's true.
Tailor their lives through what other people think. You know, that's why they have their private lives. That's why they make all this money, to be able to seclude themselves and be an addict like Whitney Houston behind closed door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she's tailored her life to that. And I think that's why, even through my successes, I have stood in the way of where Let's Heal is going to go, because God has already shown me that Let's Heal.
Oh, what did he show you?
And my speaking is going to be in front of people. He's always shown me. He said, and I've been shown that. I've been dreaming about it. I've been, you know, the universe, the positive energy, just always been shown to me. Yeah. You're supposed to be in front of people. You're supposed to be talking to people. And here's the kicker that probably a lot of people don't know about me, and I'm sure as I talk more about it, I hate public speaking.
Okay.
I went 3 times in college, because I was like, because if you put me in front of a room of 100 people in a shirt and tie, that's why I always say, whenever I do go into public speaking, because I said that was one of my fears that I was going to conquer this year. I need to start public speaking more. So first it was the podcast, and then after the podcast, I was like, oh gosh, I hate I don't want to be on screen. And, now I am doing all these videos and I'm like, I love the screen stuff. So y'all see me all over raw. I ain't got no workout. My face is bloated. I literally just woke up about an hour ago.
You look good.
So
you look great.
So I have my own things that I'm always paying attention to. And Tyrese wrote a book years ago called How to Get Out of Your Own Way. And I read
Tyrese can write.
It was years ago. So
right now,
it's totally different. But he wrote a book.
Okay.
He wrote a book called How to Get Out of Your Own Way. And I read the book when it first came out. And I realized that I was standing in my own way. At the time I was in college, I was living with my uncle and his girlfriend at the time. And I was maybe late 20s, early 30s. And she would come in the room every day. She really didn't care too much for me. So she kind of was trying to push me out. Me and my uncle had an amazing situation when we were roommates. It was amazing. So of course, when people come in, shit changes. So she would come in every day and say, so what's your plan? That was her way of saying, so when you leaving? And I'm thinking, I got a plan. I sit down, I'm trying to do my plan. I got a plan. And I realized one day I woke up and realized that I don't have a plan. And when you realize that as an adult, after you have planned for different things, and one of my first days in college, one of my professors told me, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So a lot of times you can have a plan that you think is going to work. But the thing is, you have to have a plan B and C and D and sometimes E, so that your recovery is a whole lot faster. Because if you only got one plan and it fails, it tears your emotions apart.
Gotta have a plan.
And a plan of recovery. Because
That's Wendy Williams. We'll do Wendy Williams. That was one of my takeaways from her whole documentary and movie, is that she said, you got to have a plan, honey. Always have a plan. And I like how you were even able to take that negative situation with your uncle's, his wife, or girlfriend, even though she was coming at you in a negative way of like, get out of here. Right. You were able to see that and to take that negative time and say, what is my plan? Right. What is my plan and how that's been? And so that's like a beautiful alchemist story about how you're able to take something negative and then turn it around for your good. So,
life is full of positives and negatives. And that's where, and I've always been so connected to the yin yang symbol, because it's good and bad, and there's a little bit of both in each one. So, you can't go through life and everything is good. And it's like, so what happens when something bad happens? Because if all you are prepared for is the good stuff, when something bad happens, because nothing is constant but change. And during that change, there could be a negative on the other side. So that negativity comes and you're not prepared for it, you're going to be stuck in it a whole lot longer than you should be.
Yes. All right. So like, what's up for Let's Heal? What do we have to look forward to?
Right now, if anybody is listening or watching and they want to be a part of the What is Healing to Me campaign, y'all please submit your videos to me, because I'm always looking for different definitions and to help other people have definitions of what healing means to them. I would love to work on a documentary, where I go in and I actually help people, in certain situations, develop feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, as we get older, some people turn their feelings off. Right. And again, I'm tapped into a really, really, really difficult spectrum of life coaching, because feelings and people, because we you get to a certain point where you look like everything's successful. The last thing you want to do is go back and say something's not right. Because so a lot of people will turn their feelings and emotions off. And it's like, so you really can't say that you're looking for love or you want to experience your life because your feelings are off. I also, of course, have my podcast. I'm also in the process of writing a self-help book.
Okay.
Because self-love is not selfish, but self-love is where it starts. So a lot of times, we have to stop and put a hold on a whole lot of stuff and learn how to love ourselves first. And then we know what we can give it, who we can give it to. So like me, when it comes to me and my love, I was giving my love from my own tank. And my reservoir was always empty. Yes. And I was always expecting somebody else to put love back into my reservoir because I'm like, I loved you all of this time. You don't have nothing to give back to me. No. And I leave empty because I've given all of my love or my attention. So now I give him a reservoir so that I'm able to keep my tank full. And it's like, no, you can get out of that small tank over there because you already have your own love. Yes. And share a little bit with me, and I'm gonna share a little bit with you, but I can't give from my whole tank.
You give from the overflow is what I've heard from Iyanla Van Zandt. I learned from her. You give from the overflow. What's in the cup is for you. What overflows, that's for somebody else. Exactly. Yeah, nice.
So, my self-help book, and I always say it, and I just made my t-shirt. It's going to be called Drink Your Water and Mind Your Own Bald-Headed Business.
Yeah. Shout out to the bald heads out there. Shout out to the bald heads out there. Yeah.
And I mean, underneath it all, men, women, black, white, tall, short, whatever, we're all bald-headed at the end of the day. You may have a whole bunch of hair that's covering the skin on your head, but we're all bald-headed, and you have to embrace that because someday you may have to be bald-headed. So drink your water and mind your own bald-headed business. With COVID shutting everything down, I really want to do a seminar, a Let's Heal seminar, where I invite other speakers to come in, and we all are talking about, what we do and how to self-explore, and how do we deal with things? Because like I said, I'm just emotional intelligence. You have life coaches that are about money. You have life coaches that are about jobs. I want to invite people in to come and speak. There's just so many things because I'm a creative. I'm a Sagittarius. Yeah. So I'm constantly creative and constantly creating and thinking about different things to do. So as far as that goes, that's kind of where my mind is now with the next step of Let's Heal. I'm going to continue to do my podcast. I'm going to continue to do my promos. I'm going to continue to do my t-shirts. I'm going to continue to spread the word of Let's Heal. Let's Heal was recently trademarked to me.
All right. Yes, trademark.
I went through that whole process. That process was a beast and it was expensive. So
all right, but it's yours.
It's mine. It is mine.
Yes. Yes. You got your name. You got your name, man.
And like I said in the video, that is part of my legacy. So even after I'm gone, Let's Heal, that legacy will constantly live on and will always be attached to me. So I try not to create intimidating situations because I understand me. I understand the presence that I bring. I understand the power that I have in just walking in a room. So it intimidates people, and I don't want to intimidate people, but I'm also not going to minimize myself ever again because I used to do that a lot. Minimize myself to make myself appear not so big when I walk in the room. Baby, I'm here.
Yeah, them being intimidated again is none of your business. That is none of your business. They're being intimidated.
And that's the whole point. Like all Let's Heal, you learn a lot of things that you have to unlearn and change that you went through in life. As an aerobic instructor, I was always going in the room like, now I'm like, run me a microphone. Make sure that light is on. If you're going to record. And it's crazy because when I was teaching class, when you go to a gym, and that's kind of how I live my life. And that's how I tell people to live their life. It's almost like a fishbowl technique. When we're teaching class, you got spectators who are watching the window and they would always say, oh, Tyrell, they can't watch. I say, hell, if they watch it, give them something to watch. If they already watching, squat a little lower. If they watch if they watch it, make sure the sweat, when it drip off you, look pretty. Give them something to watch.
Don't watch. Something to watch.
That's what life is just like that. People are going to watch. Somebody is always looking. Somebody is always checking to see if you are. And if you are, guess what? I had an off day. So what? But since you're watching, let me give you something to watch.
Yeah. One thing I am remembering from what you said earlier that I just wanted to really, really press on is that how you were saying how when you started doing your podcast and your videos, how it gave you the stage presence or the comfortableness of actually being a public speaker. And that's one thing that I found out too with doing podcasts and things. When you start really living in your passion, living in your purpose and doing that, you will be so amazed at what other areas in your life will begin to flourish because of that. Because you got, like with myself, getting more comfortable with my voice and with presence. Even in my career, I've seen it just like do amazing things there. So because I am more comfortable in who I am, and now I can present and talk about anything now, and it's all because of doing things like this. So that's for anybody out there. Beyond Your Horizon is all about manifestation, going beyond the place your eyes can see. And sometimes it is about tapping into your purpose that allows you to get there. Now, I do want you to tell the people where they can send that email to with defining what healing is to them. Where can they send that to?
Send that to Let's Heal Doc, not like doctor, like in documentary. So it's Let's Heal Doc at gmail.com.
Okay.
Or you can, I've had some people send it to me on Facebook. You can go to the Facebook page,
okay,
Let's Heal Doc on Facebook, or Let's Heal Doc on Instagram. And then of course, I'm Tyrell Starks. And when you pull up my social media, my big old pie face shows up. So you can always, send it to those or email it to me so that I can include it. I usually include, like 3 or 4 videos, because I don't like to tell people, I don't like to restrict time, but if you can try to keep it less than 5 minutes, that would be amazing, because eventually it turns into this long video. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to sit down and talk to you on the podcast, because you done talked 45 minutes about what healing is.
They got a sermon.
Okay, right. Come on and talk about it.
They got a sermon they want to share.
Try to keep it less than 5 minutes, so that way I can include it in the video when I do post it. So
nice. Well, everybody who's listening or watching this thing, make sure that you go out and like and follow Tyrell and the Let's Heal Doc. This is a journey that I'm happy to be witnessing and to have been a part of, because I do believe you're going to go far with this. I believe the prophecy that you have already received as you keep on moving into this, that I can see you bringing this to the world, because the world needs to have this conversation.
Definitely.
It's needed.
Definitely. Especially now, after things have gone on, and with me being an empath on emotions, that's another reason I tapped into that, because I needed to learn how to control the word no. Because their emotions are attracted to me. So people are constantly coming to me with this and with that. And at a certain point, it's like, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just overwhelmed. So my response is no.
Yeah.
And be okay with that. People gonna be
okay with it.
So rude. I'm controlled. I'm at a point right now where I'm at an intersection, and peace and happiness is having a big old block party. And I'm enjoying my life. It's all about peace and happiness right now. So if you came into my life to disturb my peace or my happiness, you got to go.
Yes.
Can't be you. We having a block party over here. The music is turned up real loud. The barbecue, the hot dogs is real burnt. I'm at a block party at peace and happiness.
Yes, right. And if you want to come, BYOT, right?
BYOT. And what that stands for, y'all, this has been coined by me and John. BYOT is bring your own table. There will be a t-shirt available next screen today.
I look forward to wearing it. Okay. BYOT.
Bring your own table. Because my table got a whole lot of food on it, and I ain't moving nothing out the way so you can sit down. I'm eating off of all of the plates.
Well, thank you so much, Tyrell, for doing this for the Beyond Your Horizon podcast. I know you all are watching it here. I know it'll be available on your things. If you look for Beyond Your Horizon, you will find this episode soon coming up. If you're watching this and you're new to me, you can follow me at JohnJohn84 on Instagram, JONJOHN84 on Instagram, and also at go_Beyond Your Horizon on Instagram as well. I also want to give a shout out to Threesome Podcast. I'm a co-host with them. We're doing big things. That's number 3 SUM podcast. Y'all go check that out too. But I thank you so much for just taking time
y'all gotta come on the Let's Heal podcast.
Right.
They need to do their What's Healing to Them video. I need y'all to come on the Let's Heal podcast. I see y'all in the studio. I need to come and sit down with y'all a little bit.
Yes. We just got there. But you like early mornings.
Yeah, see, that's because I work evenings. My schedule's about to change.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some evening stuff soon. So trust me, it's coming.
We're gonna fit it in. We're gonna have to fit it in.
Works and happens for a reason, and we are working this thing right on out because the Threesome Podcast, Beyond Your Horizon, Let's Heal Podcast, and because everybody are being drawn more to podcasts right now is the time for all of that. So, like he said, y'all got 3 podcasts to go and research and subscribe.
Right.
You got Let's Heal, Beyond Your Horizon, and a Threesome Podcast. I need y'all to listen to all of that because that's
all giving you different things too. I'll give you different things. Got Threesome Podcast. That's a totally different judge on Threesome. Where it's still me, but it's just I'm able to really get into it. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Tyrell. What else you got planned for the day? What you getting into?
I have to work out today, but
of course, of course, you got to work out today.
Got to get my sweat on. Make some t-shirts and post them on my website because, of course, everybody saw my Drink Your Water and Mind Your Own Bald-Headed Business t-shirt that I made and posted yesterday. So. I got a couple orders for that. I love being an entrepreneur. I work a full-time job, but I'm an entrepreneur too. So
nice. Playing the God in you. That's what I see you doing, man. Playing the God in you. All right. Well, thank you so much for all of this. And thank you again. Thanks for being a part of Beyond Your Horizon.
Talk to you later.
I'm sure you will. All right. Bye.
Bye.